You're listening to the A3K Network on Anime3000.com. Warning. The views and opinions expressed by this producer are not necessarily the views and opinions expressed by Anime 3000, its producers, partners, or affiliates. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to another episode of the A3K Podcast, the official podcast of Anime3000.com. I'm your host, Sean Russell, executive producer and Professor Charles Xavier of the A3K Network. Of course, I'm joined by JD Banks from the Manga Corner and Cody Baier from the other side. On today's episode, JD debates the merits of romance and popular action series, Cody gets a monster-sized boner over One Punch Man, and Sean actually reads more manga than JD. All this and more on the A3K Podcast. And welcome to the A3K Podcast. Of course, I'm Sean Russell, the founder of Anime 3000 and one of the hosts of this podcast. And joining me for this rumpus ride down the fantastic voyage highway of Coolio and the other guy that was like, I forget his name.
That was a singer because that song was a cover or sampled the song Pastime Paradise.
Ooh, and that was Cody Baier with a little bit of music knowledge. A little bit of music knowledge. And also joining us on the ones and twos, we have JD Banks.
Hello.
Hello. All the way from all the way from Nippon.
Hello.
Nippon. Okinawa, Nippon.
Arigato.
Tomo arigato. Gomenasai. Jane.
Is that like the extent of your Japanese knowledge?
Yeah, more. Sumimasen.
Moon speaker desu.
Arui moreno nakai. Kumasa ni shitekuru. All right, that's enough. Yeah, so on today's episode, we're going to have some fun. And the best way to have fun is to find out what we've been doing or what we've been dotting. And last week I had JD go first, but this week I'm gonna go ahead and let Cody Baier go first. So let us know what you've been doing, because I know that you have so much time to watch anime and manga with your very light schedule.
But of course, with all my comics and whatnot, I have not been watching anime, but I have been playing something that's anime as fuck, so I'm counting it because it's anime in your face. Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma just dropped the other day. I've been picking that up, and it has a very extensive story mode, so again, I'm counting it. I've been diving into the deep, rich new chapter, the Blaze Blue Saga, because as you folks know, this thing's extensive enough that we were able to dedicate 3 fucking episodes of the other side to this thing's plot. Now we've got another game, so I gotta sit and get entrenched. Gotta learn all the new factoids and plot twists and fanboy over the bad guy some more, so you know. And of course, the usual every week: One Piece, new chapter; Bleach, new chapter. Sadly, though, I'm not gonna have Space Dandy for a while because this season 1's ending this week.
Oh man!
I don't know.
We have some. Don't spoil it. We have some news about Space Dandy later in the program. So those of you who are sad along with Cody, fear not. We have some more Shinichiro Watanabe goodness. Even though he's probably not doing anything with this particular episodes that are coming out, but nevertheless, kind of a throwback to our last episode. So, anything else that you wanted to add, Cody, in this particular segment before I go over to JD?
Read Cloud Scratcher.
Cloud Scratcher at cloudscratcher.com.
Yes.
All right. And JD, what have you been dotting?
Actually, I watched an anime yesterday.
Lay gasp. Oh God, did I just do the lay thing? Oh, hold on. I gotta wash my mouth with soap. I'll be right back.
You're going to that famous corner of yours.
God. I just did it myself. Oh.
Actually, do you guys remember? I know some people might be really too young or for this series, but do you guys remember Highlander?
Here we are.
saw the anime movie?
Highlander.
You saw the Highlander?
I saw the Highlander anime. So Highlander: The Search for Vengeance. It's actually directed by Yoshiaki Kawajiri, who did Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D: Bloodlust.
You can
and was
tell.
written. Yeah. You can tell. And it was written by David Abramowitz, who's the writer of the Highlander, the series, and of course some of the movies. And it was the film was a joint venture between Imagi Animation Studios and Madhouse Studios. My favorite one, actually. So it's really awesome. It feels like a 80s. Everyone's stuck in the 80s because they all have these like mullet things going on, even the girls. So it's pretty funny. But I watched the dub, by the way, and I kind of forget, like, when I watch the dub, I'm like, the lines are so corny sometimes, and I'm like, is that really how it's written, or is that just the translation, or
well, I know you're quick to be all like, oh, translations are bad, but remember, this one was originally written by an English language writer, so...
Yeah, so it's the writing.
Your preconceived notions were getting in there a little bit. I think you might have some prejudices you got to work on.
Preconceived notions that American writers are hacks.
See, again,
actually,
JD, you keep forgetting this is 2014. We're past a lot of your issues.
Well, it was some lines are pretty corny, and I was just like, yeah, that's kind of corny. But then I'm thinking, okay, this film, even though it was made in, produced in like 2007, it's like, well, it's kind of an 80s, 90s kind of movie because the series, if anybody remembers, the Highlander series was from that time point. So I'm like, well, it's kind of an homage to that time point. So I can understand that some of the lines are going to be corny because Highlander, especially the movie, if you guys ever watched the first movie, is super corny. So
you take that back. Sean Connery was in that.
Sean Connery was that was the first time I ever to hear like this guy, Sean Connery, say some Spanish words, and it's really funny. Like, I'm just like, I would never thought that he would say some Spanish words.
I will not speak any ill of the Kurgan. Clancy Brown, the national treasure, and I will hear no ill words or ill will put towards the Kurgan. Thank you very much.
Did he say, "You're the man now, dog"?
That was Finding Forrester. Thank you very much.
You're the man now, dog.
No, Sean. Yes, he said that.
Oh my gosh, that was like a meme before there were memes.
Yeah, well, because that was the whole YMND spawn from that.
You're the man now, dog.
Wait, Cody, can you do a Sean Connery impression?
No.
No. Everything sounds like S and H or something like that. Show you Shay, like that kind of thing.
I know my limits. I know.
Unlike other Seans. And so what else? What else have you consumed?
That's kind of it because I kind of wanted to take a break from manga for a change. But I did sign up for the Manga University. If you guys know, it's a self-study manga program, actually. And so I decided just to try it, just to see what it was like. And then I'm going to blog about it later and see if it's worth doing or not doing and what level. So, yeah, that's kind of it.
Now, is it like those infomercials back in the day where they had that that bear, and a bunch of other things you had to draw, and they told you if you had what it takes to be an artist? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Which is a bullshit test. Just how well can you copy this existing image? They shouldn't give you the image. It said draw a cartoon turtle or a realistic pirate. Don't give you reference images, and then you can fucking learn. Otherwise, I'm sorry, I'm getting all. Damn it.
Yeah, that's some people say that, but actually, this technique, it's called a funpon technique, and it's a Japanese technique of art to copy the master until you get confident, and then you can do your own stuff. So it's really actually more of a Japanese art technique.
And what's that called? Funpon?
Funpon, yes, technique.
The funpon technique.
I know, it sounds funny. Funpon.
Sounds pornographic.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a funpon technique. All right, you keep that to yourself there, JD. You keep that to yourself.
Art history, dude.
And I guess that leaves me. And once again, I try to consume as much as humanly possible. And I'm a little proud of myself. I actually consume some manga, which is not necessarily my thing. But and I was what I was saying earlier in the show before we started recording is I feel like every 3 years I rediscover manga, and it feels like it's the first time. So I checked out the Crunchyroll, the Crunchyroll app. And the Crunchyroll manga app, as a matter of fact, is separate from their anime app, which is separate from their news app. I wish there was a way to combine it all into one. So I'm reading Ajin Demi-Human.
I heard of that. I was actually Leanne just picked that up and was mentioning that, and then someone else I remember was talking about that. It's like about immortal people or something.
Yeah. So far it's pretty new. They're simul-publishing it right now. I think it's on the 3rd chapter as of this podcast.
I'm pretty sure it's far. Hold on, let me check. I think it's farther ahead than that.
Double check while I'm talking.
Yeah.
So the basic premise of the series is
17 chapters.
Well, then I must be thinking of another series. Thank you, Cody.
No problem.
You're always there to make me look foolish. Well, anyways, the idea is that it takes place in Japan, and there are these immortals that are all over the world. I think at the time there's about 46 current immortals, and only 2 in Japan. And their immortals are treated like, pets, like less than human, but they are humans. So whenever one's discovered, they're basically, prodded and researched, and they're killed over and over just to see if they're truly immortal. So it starts off with this boy who, they start teasing this kid because they think he's immortal, and it turns out later in the episode that the boy that was kind of in the center of all of the thing that's been going on gets hit by a truck, similar to Yu Yu Hakusho, and he instead of dying, he gets resurrected. So now everyone's on a manhunt for him, and he befriends the boy that they were picking on initially, and pretty much they're on a road trip trying to escape everyone that's trying to capture them for the bounty. So that's where I am so far in the series, and I'm really enjoying the series so far. So that's one I'm going to keep reading. And as things get interesting, I'll kind of let you know, hey, this is still worth watching. And the other one that I read was The Heroic Legend of Arsene. Hope I'm saying that right. Arsan.
Oh,
and
sorry, it's Arslan. Arslan.
Arslan. Oh, that makes much more sense. Now I understand the story.
Arslan, sons of Adam and daughters of Eve. Blah, blah,
well, more like from Persia kind of thing.
And what attracted me to this series is that the art is actually done by the creator of Full Metal Alchemist.
Ooh.
Yes.
And I think she contributed to the story, but the story's actually from somebody else. But you can totally, just looking at it, it feels like it takes place in what's the place where Scar's from?
Ishval?
Yeah, it feels like it's told from the point of view from Ishvalians. But yeah, so far all that's happened in the series is there's a spoiled prince, and he's trying to learn how to fence, but the guy, I'm not good at anything. I want to be like my dad, that sort of thing. But and they come back. The king comes back with some prisoners, and there's a little boy prisoner, and he escapes and holds the prince hostage. And the prince is almost like, I can't hurt a fly, sort of nonsense. And even though you're threatening to kill me and you're holding me, you're a person that deserves to be appreciated. And the guy's like, well, how do you appreciate me when you have slaves? And that whole nonsense back and forth. There's a lot of talking in it, and I don't know if I'm going to continue with it, but I'm going to test it out a little bit more. Space Brothers ended. If you follow the anime series, it felt like they closed it out. I don't think there's a chance for it to come back for another season, even though it's like at 100 episodes, 99 episodes. So it looks like they put a little end stop on it. So I decided to pick up where the manga left off, and good thing Crunchyroll is simul-publishing Space Brothers, and I have, I think 100 chapters, ahead of me. So I have a lot more Space Brothers. And if you are a fan of the series, the anime, and you want to continue with the manga, it starts at 188, chapter 188. And 187 actually has some content that wasn't included in the last episode. So you might want to check out 187 and then continue from there. So that's a definite must for a few Space Brother friends. And I was sent a DVD from Sony to review the movie, The New Avengers Confidential, and I don't really feel like doing a full write-up, so what I'm going to do is briefly talk about it here, not too long, but Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and Punisher, and if you watched the Iron Man Technovore movie that came out last year...
Sounds like a fetish. Technovore.
I hope I said it right, Technovore. Well, either way, actually I have it right here. It is Technovore, Rise of the Technovore. Woohoo! I got it right. During that movie, there featured Black Widow and the Punisher, and I remember when I watched that, I did a similar thing for that movie as well. I remember thinking the best part of that movie was Punisher and Black Widow. Just their kind of back and forth, and I found that to be more interesting than anything else that happened in that movie. So I guess other people felt the same way because they made a movie with Black Widow and Punisher. And basically Punisher starts the movie off just killing everybody, which, surprise, surprise, that's what the Punisher does. And S.H.I.E.L.D. wants to recruit him for this top secret mission, and at the same time they want him to stop killing everybody. And the Black Widow was pretty much his handler throughout the movie. And they have to stop a race of not a race, but Leviathan is the villain. It's I guess a group of baddies. And they are giving a serum to these soldiers, and they're super strong. And I think they take a little bit of the DNA from each of the Avengers, and it's pretty much up to Punisher and Black Widow to stop them. And throughout this, towards the end, something happens where some surprise guests, surprise, surprise, I wonder who it is, come and they help out and they kick some butt. But as far as the movie is concerned, when it comes to superhero movies, animated movies, there's a high bar to jump over. And I don't know, Cody, do you watch any superhero animated movies?
I have not seen any of them. I've really never had an interest. I looked up scenes Deadpool was in the Hulk movie, and that was about it.
There's a bar, and that's been set by the DC movies, the Justice League movies. Yes. And anytime you put out an animated superhero movie, you have to reach that bar or jump over it. And so far, what I've been seeing from these Marvel movies that have been put out by Sony, they haven't reached that bar. The dialogue is just a little stilted. It's pretty paint by numbers. There's certain characters in it that bring some life. Like in this particular movie, there's a boy genius computer tech expert named Amadeus who brings a little bit of joy to the scenes and a little bit of humor. So I did like him, but the whole Punisher Black Widow stick got a little old. Once you see a head explode, it's kind of like, okay, what else do you have for me? Yeah, so those scenes, and then when the Avengers show up at the end, that's pretty cool as well. So it doesn't capture the essence of the Disney Avengers, but I guess if you are a hardcore fan of the comics, you'll find something worth watching. And if you're a fan of the Punisher, it is the Punisher. Punisher is a one-trick pony. He has a vendetta. He's not afraid to shoot you in the face, and that's about it. So if you like the Punisher and you super geek for the Avengers, check this out. Not really my thing, but that's pretty much it. And it should be out right now by the time listening to this podcast and Blu-ray. The cool thing about the Blu-ray, though, is that you get a free ticket to The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on it. So that was a pretty cool bonus. That's what, $10 value. So hey, check
Marvel's
that out.
trying to sell Marvel. It's kind of like
see, JD, there's these thing called companies, and what they do is they want you to buy their stuff.
Yes,
so
yes,
when you buy one of their stuff, they then give you an incentive to buy more of their stuff.
Yes, I understand this whole concept of marketing and whatnot. It's just that, the new Spider-Man, was it the Amazing Spider-Man, whatever it's called or whatever, with Garcia. I watched the first one, and it was just like it was definitely for girls. Like, it was like this whole love story between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, and And
see, I wouldn't say that because, like, I haven't seen it, but a buddy of mine, like one of my best friends, he's a huge Spider-Man fan. He went and saw that, and he fucking loved it because he hated the Sam Raimi movies. Because, like, he said they did not feel like Spider-Man at all. And he said this new one really did feel like the Spider-Man he grew up with, knows, and loves, right down to the funny quips.
I don't know. I'm a big
jiving.
Spider-Man fan, too. And I read the comic books, collected the cards, and I watched the TV shows. Even the original Spider-Man TV show cartoon with Firestar and Iceman. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, like, I understand, like, what he means by Sam Raimi stuff, because I feel like after the first one, like, yeah, that really went away from the feeling of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. But I feel like the second one, I think it was just too, like, it was too romancy. It focused too much more on the romance than anything else. And it was just like, hey, this is not how Peter Parker's uncle died. This is not how, I mean, they had some good actors in it, but I was just like, you know what?
But do you really want them to tell the same story over and over and over and over and over again?
We'll pick a different arc then, I mean, there's so many arcs. There's a doppelganger arcs.
I think about what they're trying to do with this Amazing Spider-Man is it was a reboot. So they had to start, because a lot of people, especially the newer generation of fans, they don't remember that first movie. This Amazing Spider-Man essentially erased the original one, the memory of the original one from a lot of people. Because when that came out, that was the biggest superhero movie of all time. But now it's like you barely remember that Tobey Maguire was in it.
You know what? I mean, I feel that the Sam Raimi ones, they're kind of fun. They're kind of playing off of that humor and stuff that Marvel Comics usually has, no matter how tough the story is. But I still feel that both Sam Raimi's and this new one, I don't feel like they get it really. Because I mean, Spider-Man, it was created because it, Stan the Man Lee, he wanted something that was for people who were college or younger or high school, and that's why it was a kid superhero, basically.
Well, actually, he was created because Stan the Man Lee had the idea that you'll always see in every comic, especially DC, because he wanted Marvel to be something different than DC, which is why Marvel caught on so much. You always saw the kid's sidekick. And it's like, well, that's the age group that a lot of the comic readers identify with, so let's take this, who would normally be the sidekick, and make him the star, the main character, and then have him try to balance teenage life with being a superhero. So if it's got the whole thing with Gwen Stacy, that's pretty much in line with what Stan was going with trying to balance the life of being a teenager with being a superhero. I mean, if you remember, one of the earliest Spider-Man comics was like, oh, I gotta go to the school dance, but Kraven the Hunter is showing up at a fucking construction site. What am I gonna do? It's like fucking Three's Company, but with shooting webs.
I understand that, but why do all these movies that have, like, these superheroes or even just a main character, and it has to have a love story, like this super love story, and it's just like, I don't care about that. I want to watch the action. It's supposed to be an action movie. It's Spider-Man.
Well, that is delightfully simple-minded, Miss Banks. Allow me to inform you of a little something in terms of storytelling. You see, the romantic subplot is one of the, let's say, easiest and most advantageous subplots you can use in storytelling, because it advances the characters of multiple characters, creates an instant relationship, and can also ripple out and affect other characters, and creates a character arc in a very simple, easy-to-use package. It is essentially storytelling metagame at this point to do a romantic subplot, and I'll fully agree with it. It does. It is a very, very good road to go down on, because just by doing it, you got two characters, boom, right there. You got a relationship form, boom. You got a developing relationship. You have character development, boom. All you had to do was just this one subplot. Now you got character development. Now you got an arc. Now you got a goal, an end goal. Now you can affect other people. You have all this stuff, and all you had to do was just say, I'm going to have a romantic subplot.
And if you look at the really good superhero movies, they all have that romantic subplot. You know, Iron Man, all of the Iron Mans, him and Pepper Potts, X-Men, X-Men, Wolverine, and Jean Grey. So, I mean, I think what they did with this new Amazing Spider-Man is they try to appeal to that CW crowd.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a lot of movies recently, they have it's supposed to be an action movie, right? But then it's 50% of it is romance. And it's just I didn't want to watch this for romance that I really don't give a shit about. I came to watch an action movie, you know? And why does all these things have to have a large chunk of it has to be romance?
Well, the CW crowd, that's the crowd watching superhero shit these days. Thank you.
Oh, Arrow?
Yes, well, for that small.
You seen Arrow? Have you seen any of Arrow, JD?
Yeah, I have. And I'm just I watched Smallville, and that's why I watched that one. But I was just it doesn't quite have the good appeal of it Smallville first had, you know. Smallville later on.
Speaking, and you're talking about shows that are 50% romance. Smallville was 10% action.
Well, Smallville was on a shoestring budget, despite the fact it was supposed to be Superman.
But you know what? The first season, it was kind of Clark Kent trying to get the girl, but trying to cover up that and try to find himself. But then after the first season, it kind of, and this is usually what happens with sci-fi, it gets kind of weird after the first or second season. So, I feel that TV shows, I really don't want to watch superhero TV shows so much anymore. And then when I watch, Man of Steel, right? The new one that came out, the newer one that came out.
Yes. Asshole Superman.
Yeah, well, but you know what? I kind of like that movie because it there is a romance between Lois Lane and Clark Kent, but it's not 50% or 40% of the movie. It's about maybe 10% of the movie. That's fine. But I'm not saying you can't absolutely have no romance. I'm not saying that. But you know what? There's a lot of recent movies, doesn't matter if they're action or not, that have they throw in this romance, and it's just it's supposed to pull in the female crowd because who's going to go on a date? Men and women can go on a date. They're going to watch movies, and then later on.
I don't think it's a female crowd so much. Again, it's that CW. It's pretty much Smallville started this, and now even the original programming for that demographic is starting to turn into that shit. I watch ABC Family solely because they play Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reruns. Sometimes it's starting to piss me off. They cut it in half because now they play. Because usually, I'm up all night, and I usually at midnight. Oh, that's my Fresh Prince reruns. I'm gonna play that shit while I work, and then because I love having that shit in the background. And then and then I fucking love me some Fresh Prince. And then I'll see the ads that they play on ABC Family, and if it weren't for Fresh Prince, that'd be the worst network in the world. And oh my god, some of them sound some of them sound no, you don't even know what they got now. Some of them sound like parodies, like Pretty Little Liars. That doesn't sound like a real show, but that's a real show. But now they got, Pretty Little Liars has got masked supervillains and fucking people getting killed, and then you got this new show Ravenswood. About some town, and there's a kid with an emo haircut, and I guess there's some supernatural stuff going on at Ravenswood, where
I think that's a spinoff of
everyone
is
just blandly pretty. No one looks like individual human beings at Ravenswood. I hate that network so much, but I have to keep coming back because they play Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
that's how they get you.
But why? I mean, I really don't if it's interesting, that's fine. If the characters are interesting, that's fine. But don't throw in a romance just to sell it. I really don't like that. That's what I mean. And especially for a long time, I'm you're trying to sell something I'm not buying. No. Now that
I think about it, it's the majority of that is him, trying to win the approval of Gwen's father.
Yeah, and it's just like, he's evil, dude. It's like, I'm just like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I really just watched it, and it was like, this is a long ass movie, for an action movie. Like, and 75% of it is the romance part. Like, okay. Like, I understand that you want to push that out there. And I know that in the comic books that Peter Parker dated Gwen Stacy. They really did it wrong, actually, in the Sam Raimi one. They did it really wrong. But I'm just like, dude, I didn't come to watch them talk about their feelings for like 30, 40, 50 minutes, like, no.
It sounded like you said Sam Romney, and I'm just thinking that he's got Baiers full of Spider-Men.
No, I don't know. No, I don't support that.
But from what I've heard about the second one, it addresses exactly what you're talking about. They're making it more fun, more action, and more true to the playful spirit of the Spider-Man series. So hopefully it'll be good, better.
Before we get off this, because I know we're probably about to get off this, I have to ask, JD, how much Smallville did you watch?
I watched all the way up till the 9th season.
Okay. Did you get to the part where they had Doomsday?
Yes. And that was really weird to me.
Yeah,
actually.
Answer this, because see, I have a friend that watched Smallville, and he would report to things, because although he enjoyed the show, he knew I thought it was stupid, and he thoroughly enjoyed the reaction as I would give him the things he told me. So I want to confirm something, because it was the dumbest thing I heard.
Okay.
And I wanted to bash my head against the wall, but that would be cartoonish, and I'm not a cartoon.
Only your voice.
Is it? Yeah, pretty much. Is it true that Doomsday was both a Doomsday, like he was a human, and then he turned into Doomsday? And was it true? Oh god! And is it true
that the dumbest arc I've ever seen?
Was it true that he was an what was it, like an ice cream truck driver, an ambulance driver? He drove some kind of truck.
No. He was EMT. That's what he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he was always like, when he was like, oh my god, I don't want to kill people, but I'm gonna try to save as many as I can before I turn into Doomsday. And it's just like, dude, you're a killer. Go kill it. Go kill yourself. Like, I mean, like, dude, why are you so worried about this? You have this thing. I'm sorry, but you know what sucks? You know who worked on Smallville was Alfred Go or whatever, and no, if he did, it would have been so much better. You could just take out all the music, and it would have been so much better if Alfred Hitchcock could. But no, Alfred Go, who worked on Superman the comics, and he was, I think, one of the writers, producers of it. And I'm thinking, if you're part of this team, you would think that you wouldn't write something like that because you wrote some of the original Superman comic books and stuff, but
you wouldn't portray Doomsday in literally the worst way you could have done it. The only way they could have made Doomsday dumber. The only way they could have made Doomsday dumber is he was from outer space, like originally, but he comes down, instead of crashing Earth, he lightly lands in a pink frilly dress, and then just like kind of pirouettes up to Superman as I challenge you to a dance-off.
Smallville would still be on the air.
No, after that, just because of that, the whole Doomsday arc, I stopped watching it. I was just like around 8th or 9th arc, 8th or 9th season, I was just like, I'm just gonna watch like clips of something interesting, and it's not this,
And speaking of clips of a few things that are interesting, I briefly, continue. I'm gonna continue to. I've made a vow to watch Kill la Kill.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Only because I feel like a phony. I feel like a phony, talking about the series when I haven't watched it, and I know it's gonna.
But you did watch it, and you.
I watched 2 episodes, and I don't feel like it's enough. And the show's not that horrible that I can't sit through it. I might not enjoy all of it, but I'm not gonna be like, in physical pain. So I'm gonna force myself to watch the whole entire thing and then actually make an informed opinion about Kill la Kill. I don't want to talk too much about Kill la Kill because I'm gonna be watching it. I will tell you this. I did watch one episode, and after the episode, I was kind of like, it was the episode where they had to race to get to school, and I'm like, why? After I watched it, I'm like, why did I just watch that? Like, how did that further the plot? That was just felt like a waste of time. But anyways, still watching Hunter x Hunter, and I marathon the hell out of Kuroko's Basketball. I watched all 2 seasons in like 3 days. Love that show. And that's another one that the season ended, and I might pick up where the manga left off.
Would you say that Kuroko's Basketball was a slam dunk?
No, I would say Kuroko's Basketball was an easy layup.
Like a girl's layup, you mean? Not like the hit the backboard kind of layup.
JD, again, my blog is going to be on fire tonight. I can't deal.
What?
I am so offended. Layup? Really, JD, please.
Yeah. There's such a thing, In the basketball world, people say that.
They say what?
In the basketball world, people say that.
Say what? I didn't hear what you said.
Girls layup.
Oh, girl. Whoa, that's what you're talking about, Cody. JD. For shame.
Every week, she has just set back so many movements back, so many years.
Let me stop before JD's all of a sudden not available next week for the recording. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm not available Friday or Saturday. Whoopsie daisy. Our next segment.
JD said, like, how come Cody know the stuff he says? He don't get kicked off the podcast. What the heck?
No. Okay, I do play basketball. I coach basketball, so I know about the basketball world, dude. Okay. And how many girls do you know can do a layup and touch the backboard? Like, how many girls do you personally know?
Lisa Leslie?
Yeah, see, she could do it because she's fucking tall, okay? I could do it because I learned how to jump, okay? But a lot of people can't do it, so.
So it's like a girl's layup, like a girl push-up?
No. But you know that, when you ask a guy to do a layup like that, a regular ass layup, then they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I can also do a dunk if you want me to, or I can touch a backboard if you want me to. I'm gonna do that instead, versus get swatted or something, get blocked, layup kind of thing.
I wish I could dunk. And on that note, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back from the break, we have our question segment.
Sure you don't want to say, speaking of dunk, we have our commercial break or whatever?
No, that'd be a horrible segue.
Cody, horrible segue.
Yeah, Cody, I only do good segues. And speaking of good segues, we have our break, and we're going to play a promo from awesome podcast and friend of the A3K Network. So check that out. And when we come back, we have our question. A3K Poll.
Yay.
What do the Anime Addicts Anonymous hosts think of My Little Pony?
If you're a dude older than 12, you really should not be watching My Little Pony. And if you are, go eat some chicken wings.
Anime.
I'd rather watch the Smurfs. Smurfette was hot.
Addicts.
I'm pretty sure I set a few My Little Ponies on fire when I was a child.
Anonymous.
No, that's cool. I'm just saying that, like, My Little Ponies burn real nice because they're made of plastic.
Podcast. Visit us at AAApodcast.com, iTunes, Facebook, and live from Japan on Ustream.tv.
All right, and we're back with our question segment. We threw out a question on our Twitter and on our Facebook, and we asked all the wonderful people out there in the social media land, what is the most overrated anime series made in the past 4 years? Now, we've covered overrated anime series on the A3K podcast way back in the day.
I know.
I believe, there. Cody, you were on that episode.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was the Miyazaki one.
Yeah,
right?
that was the one where I took it home and just kind of finished that.
That was the first time anyone ever said anything bad about Miyazaki.
Feels like it.
And I think the internet went down for like 2 days after that. But we threw it out there. We had a few replies. I'm going to go and talk about them. But before we do, I want to hear from both of you. And we'll start with JD. JD, what do you, the anime series that you've seen, or heard of rather, in the past 4 years, what's one or two of the most overrated anime series that, in your opinion?
Well, I've only watched one of these series, and I've heard of the other ones, but I've only watched one, so I really don't want to say.
It hasn't stopped anybody on this podcast from
Okay. I'm gonna go with
the.
the. I don't really like moe kind of shit, so I might go with like Madoka Magica or something like that.
That is not moe. Madoka Magica is a magical girl series.
Deep, and it is a study and a deconstruction of magical girl anime.
Wow. I just heard Dumb and Dumber.
It's actually a pretty deep series, Cody. You just didn't understand it.
Oh, no, I understood it. That's why I didn't
didn't even
like
watch
it.
the whole thing. You did a Hunter x Hunter. You went and you looked up Wikipedia entries and listened to somebody's secondhand account of the series. So you're not really. I watched the whole series sans the last episode.
So you missed the funniest part.
No, I watched the last episode. I kind of stopped caring after the first episode, by the last episode.
No,
and that's a bad sign of a
completely
series where it's
understandable.
like you watch the whole thing and you're into it, and then it's like, all right, okay, that's the reveal. Oh, okay, I get what you're doing. All right, so I'm done now. I can go.
Bad writing.
No, 2 episodes
Bad
left.
writing.
Really? I gotta watch them. I'm done. I don't care what happens after this. Yeah, all right, I'll watch it. Oh, she does that. Oh, okay. This is how it ends. I feel like Spike Spencer at the end of. Is this really what? Where does everything? This doesn't make any sense. What?
Well, I mean, it was bad enough, but then all the terrible writing and plot holes and stupid masturbatory lesbian stuff aside, just to cap off how terrible of a show that is, they get really fucking tacky at the end and make like Joan of Arc and fucking Anne Frank magical girls.
Didn't Buffy do that?
If so, Buffy can kiss my ass too, because that's tacky. That's fucking.
Well, I'm kidding. Even if they did do that, I'm not going to put Buffy into the pool of tacky ass because Buffy's awesome. It is.
Like, for sure.
For real. Jerseys. All right, so Madoka Magica. So, Cody, what is your pick? Because there's so many on here to choose from.
I know, really. Now we're talking about just this list, right? Not in general?
No.
In general.
For you.
Well,
even if it's not on this list.
Of all the ones on this list, I'd say about half of them, and I really can't pick a favorite, but let's see, Panty and Stocking definitely, because it's one of the worst shows ever made, anime or otherwise. Fooly Cooly is fucking horrendous. I'm glad to see it on the list. A little disappointed with how few votes it got, but you take what you can get. Still horrendous.
Wait! Before you go on, was that made in the last 4 years?
No, but someone still said it anyway. I guess maybe because it got re-released. I don't know. Someone bent some rules. I don't know. Either way, Fooly Cooly, horrendous. Kill la Kill, another one of the worst shows I've ever seen. That's probably, I'd say, of all the more recent ones, that's probably up there because, I mean, my co-host and I of the other side actually got into a mini debate of which is worse, Panty and Stocking and Kill la Kill, and it was hard to choose. I picked Panty and Stocking just because at least Kill la Kill gives you a break from being awful. Like sometimes just maybe there'll be a moment of silence or a background pan. Whereas Panty and Stocking is unrelentingly just horrible shit. It's,
literally.
Yeah. It's Panty Stocking
monster.
Panty Stocking is one of the worst shows. I literally can't comprehend anyone liking the show and having a mental faculties above an 8-year-old. Like, how does anyone with a functioning brain watch that and say, I'm entertained by this loud yelling and reference humor? I like the part where they said boobies. It amused me when she talked about having sex. Look, that woman is having sex again. Hilarious. Height of comedy. Oh, is she having sex yet again? That precocious scamp. Always with the sex. This A+ number one show. But yeah, Kill la Kill's fucking horrendous. Oh my god. That one's fresh. That's a fresher wound, so I'll say Kill la Kill because I recently watched that and oh god, that getting to school episode can die. That was such a terrible experience to go through, Kill la Kill. I hope bad things happen to its staff. Like, I hope their girlfriends break up with them and they, like, get sick or something. I want just something to happen. I want some kind of retribution for that experience. I need blood, is what I'm saying.
But blood they don't get any brownie points for making Inferno Cop?
No, because then they reference Inferno Cop in Kill la Kill as if to sully Inferno Cop. We made this one good thing. Now let's shit on it.
But they were responsible for Gurren Lagann, so they get bonus points for that.
Shit. Gurren Lagann. I have said that this is the best way to summarize Gurren Lagann. I have said this before many times. I'll say it again because it's just such an easy way to summarize that show. Gurren Lagann is the anime equivalent of that dude in the 80s movie, usually the bully or something, that thinks he's really awesome and usually has like some kind of henchman or toady that backs him up. Like the dude with the popped collars and the wavy blonde hair is like, "Hey, broski."
Oh, the villain in Karate Kid?
Or like Better Off Dead or something. I'll see you on the slopes. It's like, you are not cool. You're a massive dork. Shut up.
Give me my $5. My $5.
Yeah. That movie.
All right. So other shows that weren't mentioned that are on this list. Well, the number one show with what I can't even count. 14,000 votes. Sword Art Online.
Good people.
And I know that's not going to bode well with a lot of Sword Art Online fans, but hey, the people voted. I didn't have a vote. I didn't have a say in this, and obviously they feel it's the most overrated show.
Yeah.
Hey,
good going.
But
2 years worth of semen down the drain. Anyway, people know what to talk about with 2 years worth of semen. You know what I'm making fun of. Sword Art Online, the novels, has that line. It's sexy. It's really bad.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't. Well, good to know. Good to know. You might have turned on a couple of new fans to the series. Other shows, Attack on Titan.
That's a good show. I'm saying, why is that overrated?
I know what I was saying.
I think it's overrated. Maybe a lot of people who haven't watched the whole series or haven't watched the series are just tired of hearing about it, which I can understand.
Well, see, they're going to hear about it a lot because there's not a lot of good anime like these days. So when one comes along that's really good, people really latch on. Because it's like, oh my God, really? Thank you. I don't know what to say. Just thank you. You were hitting me with so many moe schoolgirls and fan service and empty shonen. I wasn't ready for this. Thank you. So
my only gripe with Attack on Titan is I know Japanese. I want to say Japanese anime, but I know like anime is, especially shonen, is notorious for people screaming. And Attack on Titan, I think like every character, all they do is scream at each other, and that sort of starts to get annoying after a while. You kind of desensitize, you kind of become desensitized to it. But when there's like a calm scene, they're like, "I just want to be the gym." It's like, calm down, dude. Just eat a potato. You know, you don't have to freaking scream about it.
Let's get a potato chip and eat it.
You're like, all right, calm down, dude. Then we have Psycho Pass, which I know, Cody, you like that show, right?
I have not seen it, but I have people whose opinions I trust tell me it's good, though it has its stupid moments. Like, it is on the whole good, but there are a couple things that are like, bleh.
One of the comments on Twitter was people who like Psycho Pass obviously haven't watched what is it called? Ghost in the Shell, the series. Standalone Complex.
I would probably bet that it isn't as good as Standalone Complex, but just because Standalone, I mean, that's grading on a curve. Standalone Complex is like the height of it's at the tippity top of Anime Mountain. It's up there. Cowboy Bebop, Standalone Complex, and Black Lagoon. They just get together and they drink beers and talk about how much better they are than everybody else, and rightly so. But like Psycho Pass, you know, I'm not even coming into this expecting to be as good, but it's like, you know, still I'm betting. And I'm probably going to be right because I'm really good at calling it, if I haven't tooted my own horn enough, that it's probably going to be entertaining. I'm probably going to like it despite the stupid stuff. But there is going to be some stupid stuff, and obviously it's not going to be that good. But at least it's not Madoka Magica or Saya no Uda or anything else Gen Urobuchi has touched.
And Fate Zero, or is it Fate Stay Zero?
It's Fate Zero because there's Fate and then /Stay Night. It's just Fate stuff. It's the Type Moon stuff with all its numbers and crap, and it's crap.
Well, that's on there. And Chunibyo, Future Diary, and Excel World.
I can't help but notice two people voted for Space Dandy.
Space Dandy was on there as well.
Folks, that's what we like to call a wrong opinion. So you take that down, so you can kind of jot that down, a little lesson for you, so you can see it in action. Because there's nothing overrated about Space Dandy. I'm sorry that it's better than your favorite show. That's just life. Sometimes life's not fair, and then some show comes along, you'll be like really into this one show, and then some other show comes along and kind of makes it look bad, and you kind of get...
Sounds like Cody's on the other side of the other side. So all of a sudden people are talking about a show you like, and you don't like it, huh, Cody?
I'm just saying, it happens. You're sitting...
You like apples?
You're sitting there, and... you're really liking this show. Maybe it's got some schoolgirls in it or something. Then some show like Space Dandy comes along and is like, no, this is how you do entertainment. You're like, damn that Space Dandy. I understand. I understand that can be rough. It's tough. It's hard out there for a pimp. I understand.
How do you like them apples? I did it anyways. All right, so that's our poll, and keep following us on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll put up new polls. I wanted to put up more than just this one, but then I had the idea of doing it like this morning, and I did it. So that's it. And then our final segment, our news segment. Not a lot of news. Oh yeah. And our final segment, our news segment. Explosion. Bird.
American Eagle flies over the horizon with an American flag waving in the background as the Statue of Liberty fades into view. Pull back to see a bearded woodsman taking a drink of his beer and then smiling contently up at the sky. News.
America! Yeah! All right.
Yeah.
I think that's enough. And that's going to be 10 minutes of me getting sound effects. Manga Awards. This is not an official award. I think it's just they had a poll on some website, and this is what came up. So, JD, I'm going to put you to work here, and I'm going to have you read the top 10 manga series.
Because Sean can't pronounce them.
I can't, and I don't want to. And these are the winners of I don't even know exactly what it is, but they're manga, and their names are on a list, and people like lists. So go ahead and you can go ahead. I actually know a few, but you can go ahead.
Okay, I'll start from number 10 then. Okay, so number 10 is Sakamoto desu ka. It means I am Sakamoto. So that's kind of a bad translation, but whatever. And it's by Nami Sano. That one's pretty good. Actually, it's one of the top manga. Is this worldwide or is this online?
I think it's from Japan.
Okay. Because this one, actually, Sakamoto desu ka was one of the top mangas for boys manga, I guess, like seinen and shonen manga. And it's actually one of the top ones up there with Terraformers and whatnot. So,
oh god, that thing?
Yeah, because I don't know why they like big cockroaches and things. So
big racist cockroaches.
But I actually want to read this because it looks like something like if you like Gantz, then you should read Terraformers. But we're not going to get that. Anyways, Sakamoto desu ka is number 10. Number 9 is Ashiri Zuri Suizokukan, which means Ashiri Zuri Aquarium by Panya. I don't know that one. I never heard of this one, but it's number 9. So number 8 is Ajin, which is that the one that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Ajin, I'm Human, right? By Gamon Sakurai, and yeah, that one's written by somebody else actually, Miura, but Gamon Sakurai is actually a very good artist actually. Number 7 is One Punch Man.
That art.
Yes. By one manga by Yusuke Murata. And
Murata can draw his ass off. Can we take a minute to just appreciate this man as one of the best artists that draws things?
And actually, I do like the art style on it.
Yeah, it fits the story.
Yeah, man. God, did you see that panorama? That giant ship, that giant black ship was from the most recent chapters.
No, I'm only on number 0.
It's like Viz on their Twitter posted some of those spread pages. Oh my god, my boner popped a hole in my ceiling, like just plaster rain.
You might want to get that checked out.
Like just shot into the air. Just that art was gorgeous. Oh my god, you just came around. I want to go to your house. I'm going to buy you a hooker and buy you a beer. And you're such a good. I want to. Oh my god.
All right.
You are a tribute to the craft.
Okay, so Cody's basically saying you must read One Punch Man, and I recommend it too. I'm only on the second chapter, but it's awesome. It's so awesome. It's so funny. Okay, number 6 is Juban Shutai, which means second edition done by Naoko Mazda. I really don't know, but anyone with the name with Mazda, I definitely got to check out. So I bet it's a manga about manga.
A manga about cars.
It seems to
Cars?
be this popular occupational manga illustrates people in the background of the whole manga industry. It seems to be a lot of these anime and manga about people that make manga. It's like one or two is like a neat thing, but it's become almost a genre and it's coming off as masturbatory.
Yeah, I think after Bakuman, I think everyone's kind of like, let's jump on this, you know. And, yeah, that can be overdone. They do it it's so overdone in writing, so in manga, it's gonna get there. Okay, number 5 is Hikidashi ni Terrarium. It's Terrarium in the Drawer, which is really strange, by Ryoko Kui. No idea, but I'm pretty sure it's probably cool because it has a strange title. So
is that like with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Like the wardrobe you would open up is like one of the drawers in the wardrobe. Like if you go through the wardrobe, you go to the land with Mr. Tumnus. But if you go to a drawer into the drawer, you just go into a terrarium.
What's a terrarium?
Is that thing with rocks and?
It's like a place to look at nature. It's nature in a bubble.
Because Terra, is world or Earth, and then
it's like a museum for nature.
Okay, so it's boring.
That sounds fun.
That's boring.
Yeah.
Why do we have one aquarium and one terrarium on this list?
It's like we've come to that part. Have you come to that in society where we have to put nature in a box instead of just going outside and looking at it?
You can you can just bring in like plants from all over the world, and people can look at them and interact with them instead of just reading about them. Where you gonna go out in your backyard and find some wolf's bane? You can find a wolf's bane in your backyard. Sean Russell, get real.
Okay, now for number 4.
Number 4. Ooh.
The Natsuno Taizai, which means the 7 deadly sins, which is really cool, actually, by Nakawa Suzuki. And I really recommend this manga, actually, to people who really just want something different outside the box.
His sword is broken. How can he fight with that? He needs to get that fixed if he's to go on any adventures.
What?
Look at the cover. His sword is broken.
Oh, yeah, cover. That's right. I'm not just looking at the text.
Big old picture. It's got pretty colors, and there's a scantily clad lady and a plucky protagonist. His sword is broken. There's a pig.
Cody, with you around, we don't really need pictures.
I just picture it all in my head.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Well, it sounds like
I'm a dream weaver.
And we're getting to our top 3 now.
Top 3.
No, their top 3, not my top 3.
Okay, number 3, Sayonara Tama-chan. Goodbye, Mr. Ball-chan. That does not no, they should change this translation. Anyways, it's by Kazuyoshi Takeda, and this one's actually very popular in Japan too. Actually, I don't think it's as popular as Sakamoto Desuka, but then again, my list can be different too. So, yeah. Number 2, Boku Dake ga Inai Machi, the town where only I don't exist, by Kei Sanbei. Actually, this one, I saw this in the store recently, actually, and it's a lot more simplistic than it sounds. So. But I think that number 1 is, on the list here is going to be the best one out of this whole thing, though, to me. It's called Otoyo Megatari, which is The Bride Story by Kaoru Mori. And she actually wrote Emma, which is about butlers and maids. But this story, I actually have the first 2 manga of this, hard copy, hardcover, I mean. It's awesome. I can see why it's number 1. Very cool.
Is this from the Gatari series? Like Monogatari and...
No, this one's about marriage. Not about tits and ass and monsters and naked little girls.
No, this is more a slice of life, but it's really great. The illustrations in it are beautiful, and then the story itself, the characters, like this is what I like when they have like female characters that are really strong, even though they still are in a place where they have to still do all the cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. I really like these kind of characters though, because it shows that there is strength outside of, you don't have to be in a society like in the United States or something where it's already like equality is, really important. But like the characters themselves have inner strength that really, you can just really see it. And I like, that's what I like about Kaoru Mori's manga, because all of them have that, different kinds of inner strength and slice of life series. I really don't like slice of life, to be honest, but this one I did, and that just shows that this artist and this manga creator can make just a great story, without having to resort to like fireballs and magical
Power-ups.
girls and power-ups and levels and stuff like that. Yeah. So if you're looking for something that you really want to learn about storytelling and character development, you should really read Bride's Story or Emma by Kaoru Mori.
All right, and another manga corner on the A3K podcast. You're like infecting. Like pretty soon, we're not even going to talk about anime. It's just going to be Smallville and manga.
And we'll lose. And there goes our last viewer.
And then speaking of losing viewers, we have Space Dandy Season 2. And that's going to be returning in July. So those of you who are like Cody and you're going to be going through Space Dandy withdrawal, you'll be able to get your fill of Mr. Dandy and his crew of I don't know what the series is about. I watched one episode. I have to add that to my list after Kill la Kill, of course.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Use Space Dandy to kind of heal the wound Kill la Kill will leave.
Space Dandy is anime mouthwash.
It is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that abrasive mint taste. And it doesn't burn your tongue.
Doesn't have alcohol. And then this big news from Discotech. They've licensed and they'll be releasing Castle of Cagliostro, which I think we talked about last episode, how awesome it is.
We did?
No, I was leaving that pause there because it's from Miyazaki, and of course...
Well, not only is it from Miyazaki, but Miyazaki went and said, I can do Lupin better than Monkey Punch because I'm a hergadagur.
And they even reference in the movie that, remember when I used to be dumb?
Yeah, that scene still to this day just makes me want to backhand Miyazaki like an angry pimp.
Oh shit!
It's like you're holding out on me, bitch. Kind of.
This was actually Hayao Miyazaki's first solo directorial debut.
Oh, okay. I watched this actually. I watched it in Japanese. Actually, it was fun. It's a fun movie if you are from like you're a '90s or '80s child.
If you've never watched Lupin, I'm sure. Great. You don't know how it's not Lupin.
It's actually Raputin in Japanese, but
it's not Ruputin?
No, they say Raputin.
That kind of goes against what you were telling us last week, JD.
About what?
Gotcha.
How they don't use la. They don't use L's.
No, I said it in an English accent actually, but Raputin. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Gotcha.
But it's I think it's a fun movie. It's not one to be like, oh my god, it's great. It's just a fun movie. That's it. One of those 80s, 90s movies, to laugh at.
And speaking of 80s stuff that you can laugh at, maybe not in an ironic way, Dr. Slump, the 5 Dr. Slump movies are going to be released on one disc as well. And that, of course, is from Akira Toriyama. So if you
ever want to see how much Akira Toriyama loves his poop jokes, go ahead and watch some Dr. Slump. I like Akira Toriyama, but I'm pretty sure he's a 13-year-old at heart.
As is most people. So
butts and PPs. Okay. Yeah.
And Monster Rancher. So a few seasons of Monster Rancher will be out as well. So
did you guys watch that?
I did.
I'm an adult.
When I was younger,
I watched it when I was younger.
Yeah,
I watched it when I was younger because it was on TV.
I still remember the theme because it was funny to me. Like monsters rule.
Wasn't it like some hokey rap?
Yeah. There was.
The monsters. Woo! Monster Rancher. That's all I remember.
They tried to make it so cool with that rap, and I was just like, this rap is not doing anything.
No, this rap is not as good as the One Piece rap. No way.
Oh no!
Come pick it up, yummy, Jenny. Come pick it up, Jenny. Pick it up.
That song is so stupid. I'm pretty sure every time someone listens to the One Piece rap, forget a memory because they lost a little bit of their brain.
What would you do if you're looking at somebody's playlist and they have like the One Piece rap like on their playlist, like just normal casual listening? I would think that person's pretty suspect.
Or they're probably one of these people that think they're so wacky. So like, I'm so crazy. I have the One Piece rap on my iPod because I'm just such a character. I'm funny. Life with me is always an adventure because I'm funny and a character, and I'm crazy. Look out for this guy. I point to myself.
I would like you actually. I would think you're cool if you had like some anime like rap songs or something. Because
I'm gonna get a boombox, like one of those big 80s boomboxes, and go to conventions and play like the worst theme songs.
That'd be awesome.
God, you want to really drive people like away from your general vicinity? Play the Steel Angel Kurumi song in that boombox. you will get you. I'm pretty sure there'll be a jihad against you within the day.
Oh, and Sean, if you did that and you looked all cool, like you had like the 80s like sleeveless like gloves, and then the jacket on, like some leather jacket or something, and then
sunglasses,
and some cool glasses,
Puma jumpsuit.
Yeah, and then it's like an anime rap song, and then it changes over to like the ending of Inuyasha or something.
Which one?
And then everyone's like, I'm gonna go away. All the girls and I'll tell you though, the girls would come up to you though.
Hey, 13. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you really want to look bad, picking an Inuyasha ending song, pick that one about, I forget, something Kiss, the really really squeaky one where the ending's showing him running and then Polaroids. That's like one of the worst anime ending songs I've ever heard. It's like
Oh, is it?
Like, oh my God, my testicles hate right now.
Oh, well, that's Inuyasha, folks. In case you forgot about that series,
Sure,
it was a thing. It was a thing. Inuyasha.
Yeah. Inuyasha and down. It was cool and then stupid, and then really cool and then really stupid, and then really cool and really stupid.
Yeah, it was definitely for girls though. Like, cause I used to watch it.
What is up with you and everything being for girls? Like, I like Inuyasha. Making me feel weird.
I felt like it was for girls because like it was too much talking, and I was just like, yeah. There's only some
gross.
Yeah, there's some points. There's some points where it's like too much talking, and I'm just like, this is starting to feel kind of strange. And then there'll be some action, and then they'll keep talking, and then some action.
Do you remember the first time Naraku unfolded and like had his one day where he just, all of the things he was made of just spewed out, and you're gonna tell me that's for girls? There's like film and slimeling pulsing shit everywhere, and it's just looks like H.P. Lovecraft just came all over the wall.
Well, that I don't care about, like
head hanging there in the middle of the.
See, I think I'm the exact opposite of you. It's like I hated the Transformer movies because the scenes where it was just like straight. I cannot stand the straight action. There has to be some sort of subtext to it. It has to be like a lead up to the action. Like, my favorite part of the Transformer movies were the part before the Transformers started to do shit. Like when it was just like, what's his face, the guy who doesn't want to be an actor anymore, Shia LaBeouf, and those little comedy scenes with his mom and stuff, and maybe a few Transformers going and pitter patter. Not the "Hey, I'm the Gooba ones," but the normal non-racist ones. That's the stuff that I liked. And then when they started to just be a bunch of metal figures clanging together and loud noises, that annoyed the crap out of me.
My favorite part of the Transformers movies is before I knew there was a Transformers movie.
Oh, have you seen it? Speaking of Michael Bay, have you seen the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, actually, I was playing Blaze Blue with Jameer last night, and then after we played, he showed me what Michelangelo looked like. What I can only describe as some kind of racist caricature. I can't pin down the race, but I do know it wants to rape me. That's what
I thought it was kind of funny. I like the end where she's like, Megan Fox, of course, is in it. If you didn't see
she can't act. Why is she?
She's April.
Because she's hot.
Michael Bay likes to fuck her during movies. That's what it is. I am 100% convinced Michael Bay bangs Megan Fox in his trailer. That's why he keeps casting her so he can have another movie to work with her on. That he can get some more Megan Fox ass because she's not an actress. She's a prostitute.
Brian Austin Green better check. You had a paternity test on those two babies. 'Cause that's her husband.
Probably got some Michael Bay DNA in there. It's like, what? It's like, I got something I gotta tell you.
He's like, oh, damn, I guess I still love you, honey. But anyways, my favorite gag in that is where she's like freaking out and he takes off the mask. Michelangelo takes off the mask. No. It's just the mask. Like, that's why she's freaking out. Because she's freaking out because he's a human turtle. Anyways, I thought that was funny. Well, anyways, the last bit of news and no closing out this podcast. And I put in here just especially for you because I think the coming of these two things is beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
The Black Lagoon creator congratulated Trigger on Kill la Kill. And
that baffles me because he made Black Lagoon and he frequently homages things like Tarantino and Coen Brother films, so that leads me to believe Ray Hiroe has taste. So why he would acknowledge Kill la Kill, I can only assume, my actual guess, and this is not even just because I hate Kill la Kill, I'm just guessing, is because of kind of the story of how Trigger came up, that it was just like this sort of grassroots thing that ended up blowing up because inexplicably Kill la Kill is really fucking popular. So, and then after it ended, I guess it was like, hey, you guys had this huge run. You started from the bottom. Now you're here. And congrats. That's my best guess because, then again, Ray Hiroe does do hentai. There's a side to him that is bleh. But, I mean, I'll still give him a pass because he makes fucking Black Lagoon. So, I mean, he's going to have to take a human life in order to run out of I made Black Lagoon, get out of judgment-free cards.
You know what it's like? It's like 50 Cent giving props to Soulja Boy.
No, because 50 Cent is also awful. That's like
he was decent when he first came out.
He wasn't. He was just like, I'm from the streets. I sell drugs and I got shot a bunch.
I got shot.
Did I mention I got shot? Okay, here's my next track. Hey, guess what? Got shot.
No, okay. Maybe his commercial stuff wasn't good, but he's pretty clever with his battles. You have to give him credit for that.
You know what? This is the second time, although this is the first time the listeners will hear about it. This is the second time we've talked about hip-hop. Y'all just, I shake my head at both of you. I feel like I got to school both of you motherfuckers. One of these days, I'm just going to just start sending you both albums or just YouTube links. Like, for God's sake, educate your fucking selves.
All right, you got to admit this, though. Lil B is pretty good.
No.
I'm joking. I was watching a Lil B video, and I'm like, he has to be he has to be joking. This has to be a gag.
No, because
there's no way somebody is putting this out thinking it's actually good.
This is the gist of the rap game for anyone that doesn't follow rap. And so I know there's a lot of people in geekdom out there that are prejudiced against the genre, mainly because the people that beat you up in school listen to it. But basically, this is how you can summarize rap. The stuff on the radio and the stuff pushed by the big companies is garbage. Just absolute hideous garbage. And like maybe something like Kanye will release a new song, like, okay, here's an Oasis, or like you'll get a fluke like Kendrick Lamar or Kid Cudi will pop in there like, hi, I've got some real music for you. But otherwise it's just garbage. So what you got to do, you got to go underground. That's where you find real artists. That's where you find real music. That's like just to put it all in perspective. The artist Tech Nine, he when he was starting out, a label wouldn't sign him because he was so different, so radically unlike what everyone else was doing. He was too much of a risk. They'd even tell him he wasn't black enough. So he went and made his own label, Strange Music. What happened? Blew the fuck up. The man's a millionaire now. Not only did he did this, but he signed other people, but he didn't sign them based on like marketing or whatever. He just made a label that was just the best people he can find, just like some kind of elite rappers club of just the best motherfuckers. And just, okay, let's just get them all this label. Just this one guy on his own, on pure talent, in the underground, makes pure real music, gets rewarded. Mainstream, rejected. Still doesn't get radio play despite massive pop. Despite the fact this guy will headline when like mainstream rappers will be in a fucking huge show, and he'll still headline because he may not be getting radio play, but everybody knows what the fuck the deal is. So just stay away from the radio for the love of God, people. Don't touch that dial. Don't move.
The radio is a huge Ponzi scheme, and I can go into specifics, but I don't want to right now. It's another podcast. Like once you get privy to the way it works, like I've had a lot of dealings through my other stuff that I do with a lot of record labels and big name artists and stuff like that, and how it basically all works. And between that, gangs, extortion, and all these other things that go on, it's probably best that you don't even go into music, at least into urban music.
No, well, it's just basically, especially with, I guess we call it urban music, you get your pickaxe because the best stuff's underground. Start digging.
Yeah. So, wow. The music industry's crazy. You know what else is crazy?
Another
this discussion topic that we have, and that's the. Oh, damn you, JD. That would have been perfect.
No, you could have done a better one.
I could have done a better one. I could have done a better one. Wow. Thank you for the
yeah, you see, the music industry is crazy. Other industry is crazy.
Okay.
Obama.
Oh, but, and you know what? The music industry is pretty crazy. But you know what else? Other industry is crazy? The manga and anime industry. And how to combat against piracy. That is also crazy. Like, okay, let me stop now. The reason I decided to come up with this topic was because I'm looking at how easy it is to get free anime, how easy it is to get free manga, and how much of it's not available for you. Things like JoJo and Macross Plus come to mind. Not that I can fake the funk and say I'm a fan of Macross because I haven't really watched it, but it shows that people want that for whatever reason cannot get licensed. And when you go and you can get, it's not like you can't get this stuff. You can get it within a couple of minutes. And for the most part, a lot of people come into anime, acquiring their stuff through illegal channels. What incentive is there for people to go out and get a Crunchyroll subscription and to, support people like Viz and these different companies outside of, well, it's the right thing to do?
I think one of the things, first of all, you're never going to fully stamp out piracy. And for me, I'll admit, like, if it's a show that I don't like, of course I'm going to pirate it. I don't want to give them money. Like, if I have to watch it for whatever reason, like when I did Kuso, I pirated all my clips. Oh no, because I'm not paying a single red cent for those people. But like with stuff that you do want to watch, I think there needs to be incentives, and I think they do that to a degree. You're going to have, of course, collectors that want the physical box. Stuff like Crunchyroll, it's the added convenience, because as someone that pirated everything when he was a teenager, because I was broke and poor, and I still wanted stuff, and go ahead, judge me, I don't care. I know that there is still a hassle, because you got to find the torrents, and you got to make sure they work, and all that stuff. And with stuff like Crunchyroll, it's just you get a Crunchyroll subscription, and it's all there. You just click and watch. Click and watch. It's like you just have like a million things in front of you, and you have full access to all of it. That is in and of itself an incentive.
So do you think that these companies should all adopt that model? Because I think the cat's out of the bag. It's like, from Hulu to, Netflix, the streaming media is like the only way to go right now. And anybody who isn't doing that is kind of fighting against it. Like, you should do that. And I like what Funimation's doing. I like Funimation. You can pay a subscription and you can get everything that they have, in streaming on their website and on their apps and whatnot. But if you want to own it, you can pay for that DVD or Blu-ray and get that on your shelf. Because I know at a certain age, we're all avid collectors. Some of us grow out of it. Some of us don't grow out of it. I know I'm sitting on like 6 long boxes of comics right now that I can't get rid of for the life of me. But, there was a time where I threw my whole paycheck at every Wednesday. It was like, what comics am I going to get today? Going through the Diamond catalog saying, all right, I'm going to get this signed, this autographed comic book.
I'll admit there is also, something to be said for owning a physical copy because, and this is maybe just me, but I know there's a lot of people like me. I have a really nice TV and sound system. So there is an incentive to buying something like in an actual physical copy so that I can put it in my DVD or Blu-ray player and get that, show on my big screen, my big flat screen with my surround sound. Because there is no other way to watch something like Cowboy Bebop when they did that remaster release and that Blu-ray release is coming, and just getting the full surround experience with that big TV. That's beautiful shit, and I think that in and of itself is an incentive for some people to have it on their television as opposed to their computer. But I think streaming is still, that aside, streaming is kind of a must in this day and age because you have that between, apps to watch it on the go, which I fully support because I'm a nerd 24/7. Sometimes you want to watch anime on the car trip, or, on the computer, whatever the case may be. Streaming is definitely I don't want to say the future because the future is now. And streaming's about you got to get on. That's the market now. You have to stream. If you don't stream, you're going to scream.
The infrastructure too is changing. Where people used to have 56, K modems. Now the majority of people have broadband. Some have fiber. It's just getting faster and faster. Where Blu-ray and 1080p is not even like the best you can do anymore. You have 4K, and the technology is just getting, every year it's getting easier and easier to download these large files to the point where, Blu-rays might become obsolete. And a lot of people too, and I can't say a lot of people, but at least for me, I can speak for myself and maybe you guys chime in, I can't watch anything more than once anymore. Outside of nostalgic reasons, once I watch something once, I don't care how good it is. There's so much out there, so much content out there that I'm on to the next one. So it's like I get offended when I go to iTunes and I want to watch, like I wanted to watch 12 Years a Slave, and the only way I could watch it is if I bought the actual pay $20 for the movie. I'm like, no, I'm gonna pay $20. I'm gonna wait a week and rent it for $4.99. You know what I mean? It's like, even digital I don't want to buy. I just want to rent it. I just want to have it and enjoy it. And as long as it's available, I don't mind paying for it. But there's certain things it's just like the value's not there for me. Yeah, and that, especially things like manga when I can get, I think once you have an option of getting an unlimited supply of something for a small amount, anybody that wants you to pay for something of similar value is not looking out for the consumer's best interest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I feel. And, I think Crunchyroll is doing an amazing job because you can get manga and you can get anime for one low price.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I don't want to seem like I'm shilling for Crunchyroll. Because
but if you're doing something right,
besides, I use the Anime 3000 account, so I guess I can't really say them.
But Funimation too. I like what they're. They have a similar model. It's just like, and I think part of the problem, not even part of the problem, but like say Viz for example, Viz is directly owned by a Japanese company, and I believe Shueisha owns Viz, and they're distributing through Warner Brothers. So I mean, they're not really like a company in the sense that Funimation and Crunchyroll are a company that they make decisions solely based on the type of model they want to put out. They didn't come into the batch saying, okay, we are fans trying to service other fans. Viz was like, hey, we're a Japanese company trying to service an American audience based off our practices. And I think that's you can see that in the way that they interact with the anime community, you know? And I think that feedback is, hey, we want it this way, and it's not being provided that way. And I think it's going to bite them in the butt, or eventually they're going to come around. The moment Viz, to their credit with Neon Alley, they're doing good stuff that way. But I think the parts that they do not have direct control over is kind of what's holding them back.
Well, you have to look at the Japanese companies. Also, they're more business oriented. Like they're not fan oriented. Like it's all about the sale. Of course, Funimation and Crunchyroll has that, but they're also thinking that we're going to service the fans because they're going to buy stuff. But it's also like if we don't make the fans happy, then they won't stick around. But Viz is a little different, because it's a Japanese, it's based from Japan. That's Japanese business model it's business. That's kind of it.
Well, look what happened to Bandai USA. I mean, you can see the writings on the wall. You have to bend to the consumer's need, and I get it. In Japan, they're used to that model. They don't have things like Crunchyroll where you can pay one price and get everything in one swoop. Correct me if I'm wrong, JD. I don't know too much about the content that they have over there outside of what we license, but I think it's a very uniquely, Western thing, especially with the successful models being proven with Netflix and Hulu, that the consumer does want it. You can make a profit with commercials and advertising. But just convincing it. Once that piece is completed, then you have so much that you can just consume and pay. I wouldn't mind paying $5-6 for a manga subscription for Viz, in addition to the manga subscription I'm paying for Crunchyroll. But it's not there. And when this huge portion of manga is not included with what your unlimited offerings, it kind of opens the door for you to go ahead and be tempted to get it another way. Yeah. And I think once you close that door, then you're looking at less of a need to be a pirate.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when it comes down to manga, like the difference really is just language. Getting licensed means it's going to be translated and it's going to be more higher quality in the translation and whatnot. But like piracy in manga, it's because the language isn't, it's not available on the shelves already because it's not translated and licensed. But I think that with manga itself, it operates more like the book industry itself, book comic industry, not so much like the anime industry kind of thing. And it's kind of hard because it's based off of literacy. If you can't read it, you're not going to buy it. If you're going to buy it, you're just going to look at the pictures, and that's kind of it. And so even here, I have trouble sometimes finding manga in English, and so I have to try to read it in Japanese, but it's hard, So sometimes I look online to see what's online, see if it's worth buying, and then I go and buy it, whether it's in Japanese or English. So it's really just about a lot of it. It's just the language in manga, and if it's available in hard copy. But the good thing about manga and books in general is that they're cheap. You can buy a used one for like anywhere from less than $5, or if you go to a convention, I've been to conventions where they're selling manga for $1, so it really just depends on where it's available and what language it's available in when it comes down to manga.
And I guess that's the price point as well. But they have services like Oyster. I haven't used it, but I see it all the time, like advertised to me on Facebook, and they're saying it's the Netflix for bucks. But so there's things out there that are looking at that particular model of one price, a subscription service.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the future is. Subscription service for everything. And go ahead.
I can recommend online a digital manga service. It's free, but it's from an international community. It's not just Japanese, but it's basically indie manga. And it's free. It's called inkblazers.com. And they produce a magazine online. And then they also have artists that have really good quality manga. And it's in English. and it's free. So if you are interested in looking at new manga, then you should really look at Ink Blazers. Another one that doesn't, it's really, I don't know. It's really cheap, but they also have free stuff on there, is Comixology. And they also have actually Tokyo Pop's former titles on there, some of them. So I really think that there is a place on the internet for manga. It's kind of going towards the book digital route, and some of it is free. So you just have to look around. And I do have a list of places, comparisons between each one, including Crunchyroll. So I'll probably have that up later on my blog. So
and we'll put a link up on the show notes so you can check that out as well. Anything you want to add, Cody?
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Here they are, standing in a row. Small ones, big ones, some as big as your head. I don't know the rest of the words after that.
Everybody, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. All right. And with that, I think that's a good point to end this segment and go into our next segment. Just kidding. And that's the end of the podcast. It's the podcast that never ends. And so Cody, tell us what you have cooking.
Well, as you may know, yet another season of anime has been introduced, so of course the other side is going to be tackling that. We're also going to be taking a look at a bridge series because these things are a festering plague. And, of course, there's the upcoming Terraformars episode, and before that, you folks should be getting the spring season episode, which is way late, but we recorded it a while ago. And, of course, there's always, if you need something to read, may I recommend a little thing called Cloud Scratcher. Working hard and diligently, day and night, working to put out the first print volume, because I'm remastering all the pages because the early pages look like doo-doo now. Still, despite the fact that the early pages look like doo-doo compared to what I can do now, because I'm more comfortable drawing in a Disney-esque style, still everybody should go check it out because it's a damn fine read, and buy my book. Buy my book. Buy my book.
Cody, I actually read the first part of Cloud Scratcher. I really enjoyed it. It really does take from the 90s kind of 80s kind of spin on things, and so I would recommend to people who really are nostalgic about 80s and 90s cartoons or manga or anything, you should really pick up Cloud Scratcher, actually.
Thank you. And I'd recommend anyone read the whole damn thing because there's all kinds of delicious little plot developments and new characters, and I'm especially proud that one of the villains is getting I'm getting a lot of remarks on Twitter like, oh my god, this guy's so creepy, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want.
Is that your alter ego, Cody?
No, but I studied a lot of things to learn to write stories that had nothing to do with writing stories, including psychology to learn to write characters. And I decided to make oh, well, there you go. I made a villain that is literally a textbook sociopath because I was just intrigued by what actual sociopaths are like. And apparently it's working like gangbusters. Y'all know when you see them.
All right. And the website for that again?
www.cloudscratcher.com. Cloud Scratcher as in there's cloud, they're puffy in the air. I'm going to scratch them. Cloud Scratcher, no funny spellings, just Cloud Scratcher.
No Cloud Scratchers with a Z.
Because, as you know, back in the 90s, whenever there was... just about every cartoon had anthropomorphic characters, and they all had some kind of little animal pun in the name, Spin and Darkwing Duck and all that. So everything had a little jokey joke in there. So, of course, animals scratch. Cloud Scratcher.
Nice. And JD, what do you have baking?
I'm not half baking, but there are some new releases from different manga distributors. So I'm just writing on a short list. Yen Press had Blood Brats Volume 1 come out in March. And in April, they're going to have Doubts by Yoshiki Tonogai. Seven Seas has Devils and Realist. That's so bad English, but Volume 1. And Crimson Empire, which I will be reviewing and next month, a Manga Corner. And Shonen Jump, they released Rama and a Half 2-in-1 edition, Volume 1 in March. So I'm really going to check that out because I love Rama and a Half. Woo. And Kodansha Comics had the Seven Deadly Sins, which was on the list of manga awards. And UQ Holder, Volume 1, came out. And last one was from Viz, which came out in March, was Phantom Thief Jean, Volume 1. And I did read some of this. Yeah, definitely a shoujo, but definitely read that.
For the ladies.
For the ladies.
Because ladies need manga too.
Yes, they do. Especially me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's that voice again.
There's a whole new kind of manga corner going on.
What kind of corner are you talking about? Rolling up or something?
Here at the A3K Podcast.
And we've lost our last viewer.
At the Quiet Store.
Yeah, we have different kinds of viewers now.
You have a whole new segment of the audience. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The A3K Podcast is now over. And you can put your trays up and take your seatbelts off and smoke a fat spliff.
Yes, fat spliff.
Yes.
Oh,
Spliffy spliff.
Are you looking at the source or something? Or what are you doing?
What?
That's such a
Spliffy
weird
spliff? You know what a spliff is, right?
spliff. You're like a grandpa who just heard of pot.
A spliff? An L?
A spliff.
Why don't you just say cigar or cigarette,
No, he's talking about. He's trying to come up with a euphemism for a joint.
I know, but
That's not an old grandpa. That's Busta Rhymes' sidekick is called Spliffa Spliff.
That's like grandpa just heard of that pot has funny names and he's trying to be hip. Hey, you wanna light up a whippy wobble? wanna smoke up a skippy?
Wanna smoke up a doobie? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much that's my seventh closing, dude. I'm gonna cut 4 of them out, so there's just 3.
You see, actually, me and Cody are actually looking at the show notes, probably, or whatever. So.
Oh my goodness! I was actually gonna cut the discussion topic because I thought we were going out over a little too long, but you guys wanted it.
Well, you wanted it because you wrote it down.
I know, but I could have erased it, and you wouldn't have seen it in real time. Alrighty, bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.
I love you.
Ew.
Thank you for listening to the A3K Network. Visit our website at anime3000.com to find even more content from the producers of this show. Be sure to share your thoughts about this episode by leaving some feedback in our comments section. Want to be featured on a future episode? Send your questions to contact@anime3000.com and address it to the podcast of your choice. You can even leave a voicemail at 954-780-6201. That's 954-780-6201. And as always, thank you for being you.